Okay, well, good morning, Angela, and thank you for joining me. If you could just introduce yourself, your business, and where you're located.
Hi, I am Angela Schneider of Big White Dog Photography in Spokane, Washington, and I celebrate you and your dog on adventure together in the Inland Northwest.
Well, talk about how you got into photography and specifically into dog photography.
Okay. I might cry. Uh, um, my mom had a camera in her hand all the time, and she just passed in January, and um, it was just a natural thing, I think, for me to end up with a camera in my hand when I was 12 or 13. And, I became the yearbook photographer and I got sent to camps and all of that stuff. And then, I went to journalism school after I got my English degree, and I decided I wanted to be a sports writer. And the ultimate goal was to be the first woman on an NHL beat in Canada, but that never happened. Um, but I worked at a lot of small town newspapers where, um, as a reporter, you also have to be the photographer. So the camera became just a natural extension of my arm. When I did reach my dream job of writing sports for the Calgary Sun, I didn't need to be a shooter anymore because my newspaper had an entire staff of 15 photographers. So I got rid of all my gear, and then I lost my job at the Sun. I got laid off, and as happens a lot in newspapers today. But um, I started to go into a marketing career, and I just didn't feel creatively fulfilled by that. And along the way, um, I met this big white dog named Shep, and you shush, you shush. That happens when you're a dog photographer. Well, along the way, he came into my life, and I had to change my entire life for him. Um, you know, out with the high heels, in with the hiking boots, out with the Mustang, in with the SUV, and we were going to the Rocky Mountains and the foothills every other weekend. And I was standing at the top of a mountain going, how am I in the most beautiful place in the world with the most beautiful dog in the world and not have a camera in my hand? So my Christmas bonus that year was a Nikon D40. And I started taking pictures, and the more Shep became the most important part of my life, the more I found my camera. Excuse me. The more I found my camera just naturally gravitating towards him.
If someone is looking for a dog photographer, what kind of advice would you give them to find someone that's the best fit for them?
That's a great question. And I'm going to answer it by saying that just as there are so many different styles when it comes to family and newborn and wedding photography, there are a lot of different styles of dog photography too. And so I think that it has to be something that you're into too. Like I do adventure dogs, but as far as my clients are concerned, an adventure can run from anything to a simple walk in the park, especially if a dog is ill or aged, to a trek in the mountains, or to one of the glacial lakes in North Idaho. One of my favorite places, actually. Um, so I think you really have to hone in on the style first, the style that you want. If you're an adventurer, then you look for someone like me. If you want, a dog sitting in a bed of pretty flowers, that's not my skill set. So I like to do dogs doing dog things, and celebrate dogs in their natural environment. So to hone in on the style that you want out of your dog photographer. And then the second is to make sure you match personally, because I'm out there. I'm rough around the edges. I drop F-bombs at sessions. You know, I think it comes from growing up next to a hockey dressing room and learning lots of new words. Um, but you really want to match personally with your photographer too, to make sure that you enjoy the experience, because from the second you get on the phone to me to the day I deliver your art products, and even after that, we're connected. We're connected in the art, and I want you to be able to look at the art on your wall and go, God, that was a great day and we had such a great an adventure. But I don't want you to think, oh man, she was so weird.
Well, do you have any like funny or embarrassing or dangerous stories or anything like that during photos?
When you're a dog photographer, you really have to let go of your inhibitions and be okay with looking like an idiot. Because you know, I've come up off of the ground because I'm laying completely prone, trying to get my shot, and I've come up off the ground and I'm covered in goose poop. I'm like, well, here we go, covered in goose poop. Or you know, I'm also the kind of gal who's just I'm gonna run into the lake with your dog, because that's the shot I want. I don't want a shot from the shore. I want a shot in the water with your dog. And that's how I ended up needing a new 70 to 200 last year too. Yeah. Don't keep your $1,500, $2,000 lens that close to the water when it's windy and there's waves.
Well, talk a little bit about, because you're starting up this new podcast, and can you talk a little bit about what it's about?
Yeah. So, One Last Network is a podcast dedicated to helping pet guardians find the support and services they need as their pets age and eventually cross the rainbow bridge. And of course, the primary service that I want to connect these pet guardians to is professional pet photography. And then, so there will be a directory of pet photographers, much, you know, in the same way that you have your incredible directory. And on the back end, I will be coaching pet photographers how to assist their clients with their anticipatory grief and post grief, should you maintain the relationship that long, and how to be better storytellers, because as a journalist, I kind of have a knack for it. You know, dogs do so much for us. Pets do so much for us. I'm not going to discount cats and horses and stuff like that. I know, you know, I know people who have incredible relationships with their cats and their horses, but they don't just exist, and they're not just family. They can be our greatest teachers if we let them. Because Shep taught me so much about life, and Bella teaches me something every day. You know, it's about living. They teach us to live in the moment. They teach us to shake it off. You know, like if anybody can get over a bad thing, it's an animal. You know, you scold them for barking too loud, and the next thing you know, they're right there in your lap going, okay, well now I want scritches. They're perfect.